I will ask Counselor Lindell to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Counselor Michael Garcia to please lead us in a salute to the New Mexico flag. And then I think Counselor Romero Worth, can you do a quick invocation and remembrances leadership for us tonight, please? So rise, please, and join us.
Del Estado de Nuevo México, en simbología de amistad perfecta entre culturas unidas.
Good evening, everyone. I did not know I was going to do this until 2 seconds ago, so I will certainly lean on the themes that I often do, which is reminding us, confirming what we know, what an honor it is to serve in these capacities and do the work of this community, and hopefully set an example and just lead with thoughtfulness, collaboration, professionalism, and just ask us all to reflect on the importance of these roles and the gratitude I know I feel for being able to serve my community. Thank you, Mayo.
Remembrances? Yeah, let's start with Counselor Lindell and then Counselor.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Counselor Romero Worth. I would ask us all to keep our colleague, Counselor Pilar Faulkner, in our prayers and thoughts. She's facing some difficult situations. She's not able to be here tonight. And let's put our arms around her. She's our colleague. She's our friend. And send to her the caring that we have for her. And prayers for her and her family. When we have a moment of silence, Mayor, I would ask that everybody put some intention to Counselor Faulkner's family.
Thank you. I just want to, yes, probably one of many who are mourning the loss of Chaplain Joe Dudziliak. He was somebody who not only talked the talk, but he walked the walk. He was, if you wanted to see a true advocate for the unhoused, he was that. So just want to keep him and his family in our thoughts and prayers. And he was always a pleasure to work with, whether it was here in the capacity as a counselor or whether I was crossing paths with him at the grocery store. I'll always remember after a tough meeting we had at City Hall, and was chatting with him after, and he was cracking jokes, and that was just the type of man he was. He always tried to find the bright spot in tough situations. So rest well, Joe.
Similarly, Sunny Muse, who is an advocate in the African American community, we lost, and Chaplain Joe was a huge loss. And I think that a lot of people in this community are feeling his loss, along with some of the folks that he worked with that we also lost this week. So yeah, just sending prayers.
I'd add my thoughts about Chaplain Joe. He was a real individual, as Counselor Romero Worth talked about, who was devoted to serving the community. He was an Air Force veteran. He worked in construction. He started his outreach program about 6 or so years ago, and he was everywhere. He was always on the street, and always reaching out to people and helping folks and having a positive influence on people who needed help and on all of us who were seeking to address the needs of our own house community, and knew he wasn't well. There was a move afoot to get a proclamation in his honor before he left us, but we still honor him and send our respect and appreciation to Joe and all whose lives he touched. I also want to mention John DiRuggiero. John was a friend who was instrumental in building a bridge between the city of Sorrento and Santa Fe around a sister city relationship. And he was so committed and so influential. After getting word of his passing, we got a letter from Sorrento thanking John for his hard work, his integrity, his commitment to bringing our cities together, and what a great partner he was in reaching out across from Sorrento to Santa Fe and back. He really was selfless and with a great generosity of spirit. We have a big thank you to him and a big hole where he did so much work and filled so many different roles in bringing our communities together. With that, in the spirit that Councilor Lindell asked, let's take a minute of silence and think about people who need our help, who need our support. We're asking for all kinds of assistance in this challenging time, whether it's for food or health or shelter. Let's bow our heads together and think of them. Thank you, everybody. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Counselor Cassett? Here. Counselor Costello?
Presente.
Counselor Chavez? Counselor Lee Garcia?
Here.
Counselor Michael Garcia?
Present.
Counselor Lindell? Counselor Romero Worth?
Here.
Mayor Weber?
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. And as noted previously, Councilor Faulkner is excused. Madam Clerk, are you aware of any changes to the agenda? I know we have one item that we're going to try to move to another session, but have you heard of any other changes?
Yes, Mayor. Item 8A and item 8C will be removed from the agenda. Those are presentations.
And Councilor Cassett?
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to remove item JJ from the agenda. There are some additional changes that staff would like the opportunity to look into at this time.
And Madam City Attorney, is that done through a motion to amend the agenda?
Mayor Weber, councilors, I think you would want to postpone that one to a date certain,
Okay.
probably later in the evening. But I mean, you can either do it now, or I think you need an agenda in order to postpone it, probably.
Okay, so we'll approve.
me know
the
when.
agenda
For the agenda,
later.
then I think you could do it right afterwards, but
Okay, we can do it. We can subsequently take care of that. Councilor Castro?
Yes, and we normally do public comment once it's getting closer to the 7 o'clock hour, but I would propose that we move item 18 to before executive session in case the public has any comment.
Just wondering if we should do that after we approve the agenda, just like the
Yeah.
tabling motion. So
Agreed.
maybe that can wait.
I think they're both in the same category. Let's get an agenda approved and then we can remove and amend the order of things.
Move to approve?
Second.
Very good. So, as changed by, as the two items from presentation removed. Could you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Certainly, Mayor. Counselor Cassett?
Yes.
Counselor Costello?
Yes.
Counselor Chavez? Counselor Lee Garcia?
Yes.
Counselor Michael Garcia?
Yes.
Counselor Lindell? Counselor Romero Worth?
Yes.
Mayor Weber?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Very good. So now that we have, well, let's also do the consent and then we'll do some agenda changing. There any anything removed from consent, Madam Clerk?
I think I would have to postpone because we can't approve it if we're not going to approve it.
Correct.
We would pull it and then we
Yep.
take action on it.
Okay.
I'll pull item JJ, please.
Approve as amended.
Second.
Any further discussion? Madam Clerk?
Counselor Costello?
Yes.
Counselor Chavez?
Yes.
Counselor Lee Garcia?
Yes.
Counselor Michael Garcia?
Yes.
Counselor Lindell? Counselor Romero Worth,
Yes.
Counselor Cassett,
Yes.
Mayor Weber,
Yes,
motion passed.
thank you. Enough, if there was an effort, I suppose we could do it now if we wanted to change the order of things, that would be fine. Counselor Castro, let me go to you first.
Yes, and so this is first public comment on a bill, which is no action, and I would like to move that to before executive session. It was actually a request from staff, but we don't know how late it's going to go.
Okay, is that? I have concern that the public is very used to us doing it at 7 o'clock. And so we don't know when we're going to go to executive.
So I guess we can potentially move it once we get there.
I think that would be wise to see how long the
Agreed,
beginning of the
yeah.
meeting goes.
That's perfect.
As we approach the different times,
7 o'clock hour.
hold the pin then. So
Beautiful. Thank you.
you okay with that?
Perfectly fine with that. Thank you.
And Counselor Cassett, did you want to
I suppose,
wait for us to get?
I guess we'd wait till we get there.
All right, very good. In that case, Madam Clerk, let's take us to the first order of business.
That would be 8B. It's a presentation of the fiscal year 2026 first quarter health benefits performance analysis. And here to present is Alvin Valdez, the Benefits and Wellness Manager.
Mr. Mayor, councilors, thank you for having us today. We're just going to give you a quick synopsis on our FY26 first quarter medical and prescription plan summary. Presenting today from Aon is Trey Sarsfield. He'll go ahead and give you all the information. We'll stand for questions afterwards.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your time and apologies for the delay on the beginning here. As Mr. Valdez mentioned, my name is Trey Sarsfield. I am an actuary with Aon Consulting, the benefits advisory and consulting partner to the city for the last several years. At an earlier version of this particular committee in April, multiple items were discussed. Two were germane to why we are coming back today. One was the overall recommendation and approval of Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Mexico taking over the benefits, the medical and RX plan effective July 1. Secondly was a vote around what should the rates be and what would the budget be if that were to be the case. I will start then with a brief history. This is a repeat of a slide that we displayed at that meeting. Over the past 5 to 7 years, average annual increases for plans of this nature are in the 9 to 11% range. This being a self-funded plan, which means that you are responsible for the claims that actually come in, you will pay, your increases will move with your actual claims experience and of course with your projected claims experience. What we are displaying with this particular slide is that in good years, the plan may be a bit below, the increase may be a bit below that 9 to 11%. And in poor years where the experience, specifically the projected experience, is above expectations, it would be higher than that. The number of years of the low double digits is one of the main considerations around the RFP, request for proposals, for the medical and RX plan beginning 7/1 of the current year. As the result, recapping again, the results were that Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Mexico was the favored partner from both a services and and provider standpoint, as well as, of course, they were a very attractive cost proposal. With that, there were two possibilities for setting budget rates for the entirety of this year. One was an overall 3% decrease from the fiscal 2020, the year ending fiscal June 30th of 2025. The other would be a holding the overall budget rates flat, but considering if the experience were to prove beneficial enough to do so, offering a premium holiday such that your individuals that are your employees and their dependents that are signed up for these plans would be given one paycheck off from paying in their employee contributions. As a result of that decision, the overall budget was held flat, and one of the requests was, after a quarter, please come in and tell us, please come in and elaborate to this committee if experience has proven valuable enough for an overall premium holiday. To reiterate, the overall total budget for this existing plan year is about $24.25 million. The city is responsible for 18.56 million of that, and the remaining 5.68 million is coming from those employee contributions. This represents no change whatsoever from the fiscal 2025 city budgets or employee contribution biweekly rates. What we are now looking at would be how much is a premium holiday going to be, how much would a premium holiday be worth? We looked at this in terms of the actual enrollment and the actual biweekly rates. And if employees were allowed to take one premium holiday, take one employee, one contribution off, that would cost the plan approximately $218,000. In looking then to fiscal year 2026 first quarter results, the overall loss ratio, which means the overall expenses versus the budgeted premiums, is 95.5%. Any result below 100% is considered positive experience, and the surplus in excess of $218,000 does support a December 2025 premium holiday. I will go into a bit more detail on that with this final slide. This 95.5% loss ratio takes into consideration the run out claims from Cigna, so the claims that were incurred in the prior fiscal year, but not presented for payment, adjudicated, and settled such that the plan needed to actually pay them after July 1st. It also takes into account the actual Blue Cross Blue Shield claims that have come in since July 1. And it takes into account the Blue Cross Blue Shield fixed costs, both the administrative fees for running the plan and the stop loss insurance for covering your large claims. And a piece that is temporary, but is certainly part of the proposal that Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Mexico presented is a 6-month administrative fee credit. So of those two fixed costs that I mentioned, the administrative fees are approximately $54,000 per month. And BCBSNM agreed to waive those first 6 months of that in exchange for offering both the medical and the RX plans together. Additionally, there was 1 month of a stop loss credit and ad hoc for the August month of experience. And your overall pharmacy rebates came in at about $155,000 for the first quarter. So when you factor in all of those claims, all of those expenses, and all of those credits, we come back to a 95.5% loss ratio, or approximately a $275,000 surplus. Things that we know moving forward is that these Cigna runout claims will taper off sharply. In general, claims do need to stay open for a full year after a change like this, but in our experience, solidly more than 90% of the claims are paid out in the first 3 months. So what we see here under Cigna runout claims, that 1.385 million is about 90% of the total. We will not see that repeating in future months. Additionally, there will be 3 more months of the administrative fee credit. So that would be another $163,000 to the positive for this plan through the end of the year. And then this rebate credit is adjudicated on a quarterly basis. And the expectation is that we would see another $154,000 there. All told then, We absolutely believe that the plan is in excellent shape to absorb a $218,000 premium holiday. And with that, I would welcome any questions any of you have.
Thank you very much. Let me just go down the line. Counselor Lee Garcia, any questions?
Good, thank you, Mayor.
Counselor Cassett? Mayor Worth? All good?
All I'd say is, thank you for the clarity on those numbers. They're easy to follow, they make sense, and, it isn't always that way.
Counselor Garcia, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this holiday.
Thank you so much, Councilor Michael Garcia. Our position is that the employee contributions that you have set forth are a pledge to your employees. And so the idea that 24 paycheck periods at these biweekly rates, that is what they are required to pay. Further, if the experience is proven such that one of those premium contribution numbers will be rescinded, if you will, there should be, and we believe will be, no effort to recoup that. We believe thoroughly that the overall experience of the 12 months will be sufficient based on the city's contributions and then 23 of the 24 contributions from the employees. If that proves over the course of the entire plan year to be insufficient, it would not be a remedial action during this plan year. It would factor into what will overall budget rates and employee contribution rates need to be to fully fund the plan in the plan year beginning July 1st of 2026.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. No other questions, Mr. Mayor.
Counselor? Counselor Castro?
Yes, and I probably will not ask this fully, but I want to flag that the last time we had this presentation, Councilor Faulkner mentioned that some folks were not receiving the same quality of care because they were living in Rio Rancho. Did we get any answers to whether or not that had been adjusted or folks were getting some sort of offset?
That is beyond the purview of Aon's specific study, but I do believe that we have a representative from Blue Cross Blue Shield that would like to answer that question now. I will cede the floor and allow her to introduce herself.
Thank you, Mayor Weber and Councilor Castro. My name is Amanda Romero. I'm your account executive that is assigned to City of Santa Fe. Thank you all for allowing us to serve you since, July 1st. It has been a pleasure. We have been working with your HR team and all of your members, especially those one-offs. So you had mentioned, your question was those that are living in Rio Rancho that do not have access to the Presbyterian facilities. What we have been doing is doing one-on-one support for those members to make sure that they are getting access where they need, whether that's having us find a new provider for them or making sure that we do that, transition of care to where they can still continue to see their provider for a certain amount of time until we get them established with the Blue Cross Blue Shield contracted provider. We have also partnered with Galileo, who is a virtual primary care and specialist provider, which provides access to providers 24/7, 365, and they can serve as PCPs or specialists. And those providers are available 24/7, 365 and can replace a PCP if needed, because we know access to care in New Mexico is just so hard right now. So we have been doing those one-offs.
Great, thank you so much. And I appreciate the lack of medical providers we have, so we appreciate your work. No further questions.
Go ahead, Counselor Cassett.
Thank you so much. Amanda, I didn't know you were here, but I just want to recognize you. I had some challenges with my own healthcare stuff, and you were incredible. And so I really appreciate service that you are giving the city. I am hopeful that anybody else that contacts you gets the same amount of service. I would imagine so, but I just really want to recognize your work and thank you and encourage anybody who has any questions or challenges to reach out because I am very impressed. So thank you. And it's nice to put a face to the name.
Thank you. Counselor Lindell.
Just second what Counselor Cassett said. The response has been terrific. Efficient, courteous, professional, and everything that makes me feel like we made the right decision. So thank you very much.
Sorry, and I'll just add
Counselor
to the
Gass?
praise. Also, have Valdez, thank you, Director. You have been a big, great help. Thank you.
Thank you. I would just say it's, when we did this planning exercise, the prospect of a premium holiday was something we were looking forward to. And the data seemed to be absolutely crystal clear that it's something that we can provide to our employees as a part of this program. And that's terrific to be able to have December roll around and get a premium holiday that everyone can take advantage of. It's great news for everybody in managing the account, taking care of our folks, taking care of the data. That's a big win for everybody. So thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Madam Clerk, you want to take us to the next item?
Certainly, Mayor. That is item 9JJ. It's consideration of a resolution sponsored by Mayor Alan Weber. It's a resolution requiring a micro community in every city of Santa Fe Council District by January 1, 2027. Or if that timeline is not met, a presentation explaining the barriers to meeting the timeline and recommending how and when the goal of a micro community in each district can be achieved.
Counselor Cassett, there was you were responding to I believe, a staff request to have this taken to the next governing body meeting.
Yes, and I also want to note that this is being co-sponsored by myself and Counselor Faulkner and anybody else on there? No, the main resolution. I don't think so. But yes, I wanted to make a motion to postpone this to November 12th.
Second.
Is there a second? Okay. Yeah, and discussion. Counselor Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think given that we have amendments being proposed, we should send it back to committee, get the amendments considered, and then that way, when it comes to governing body, it can come back on consent without a potential discussion. That's my suggestion. And so we've got 2 committees next week. We've got Public Works and Utilities on the 3rd. We've got Quality of Life on the 5th. We've also got Finance on the 10th. So there's 3 options. We can send it to all 3 committees, just that way it goes through the committee. If anybody has any additional amendments, because I know that there's the amendment that we just got, Amendment A. I've got an amendment that I'm proposing. So I think it behooves us, as we always say, let's do the work in the committee.
Just point of clarification, would we then only amend the schedule and pull this motion? No.
I think we would make a motion to refer to quote committees. Correct?
Mayor, but councilors, that would work. I think you've got some options.
Okay. I am more than happy to send it back to committee. I'm more than happy to pop it through all 3 because if nobody wants to talk about it, they won't pull it. So
Yeah, I just want to make sure sorry to interrupt.
no, go ahead.
If we could look at the calendar to see when it would then return to governing body, I think
Same date.
Same day.
it would not interrupt it. Well, in that case, I think that's a completely acceptable approach to doing as much as we can do. There may still be amendments that don't get done in committee, and that sometimes does happen, but I think getting it back through the process is completely appropriate.
So
wanna-
I would like to remove my first motion.
I will also withdraw my second.
And then I would like to make a motion to refer this to Public Works on Monday, November 3rd, Quality of Life on Wednesday, November 5th, finance on Monday, November 10th, and to bring it back to the governing body on Wednesday, November 12th.
Second.
Okay, so you all heard the motion. Is there any discussion? I think this is complying with the common sense approach. Madam Clerk, can you call a roll on that motion then?
Yes, Mayor. Counselor Chavez,
Yes.
Counselor Lee Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Michael Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Lindell,
She has had to step away. She will be running home and then joining us during executive session on Zoom.
Counselor Romero Worth,
Yes.
Counselor Cassett,
Yes.
Counselor Castro,
Yes.
Mayor Weber,
Yes,
motion passed.
thank you. So with that, Madam Clerk, we go to the next item on the agenda.
Next item on the agenda, Mayor, is matters from the city manager.
City Manager Scott, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just quickly, my apologies for asking to defer the update on Midtown today. I was actually very enthusiastic about doing this. We have a lot going on, and I'm very eager to present that to the public. However, for a couple of reasons, it didn't work for today, and I appreciate your patience. We're going to have a discussion with the MRC, the Citizens Commission, at their meeting on November 5th. And I really wanted to give them the courtesy of the update before I provided it to the entire public. So that is also a public meeting for anyone who's interested. But on the 13th, I'll come back and I will be very happy and pleased to do that whole update at that time for the governing body. And that's all I have. I believe the city attorney will cover some issues related to the excise tax.
Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, what's next?
Next item is matters from the city attorney.
Thank you, Mayor Weber and councilors. I was just sending out bullets to this group about what I was saying in case they wanted to add to it. But as everyone here may have heard, but maybe not everyone in the public may not have heard, the Court of Appeals did dissolve the First Judicial District's injunction on the city's high-end excise tax for affordable housing on Monday. Because the ordinance, which was approved by over 70% of the city's voters, would have gone into effect on May 28, 2024, but for the district court injunction, the tax went into effect immediately when the injunction was lifted or dissolved, as the Court of Appeals described. For reference, the ordinance is codified in the city's code, so anyone can look it up. It's section 18-18. So that's on the city's website. The ordinance requires buyers to pay a 3% excise tax on the consideration paid for residential properties that exceeds $1 million. There are certain exceptions that are in the ordinance. So those can be found again, section 18-18. The ordinance calls for the city's finance director to adopt administrative rules and forms to implement the tax. And during the spring of 2024, City Finance Director Oster posted the draft rule, held public meetings about the draft rule, received written comments on the rule, and met with interest groups about the rule. Based on that feedback, Director Oster will be posting the final rule and updated forms on the city's website this week. The address for the city's excise tax webpage is kind of long, but if you just do a Google search for it, it does pop up right away with City of Santa Fe excise tax. But it is at santafenm.gov/finance-2 /high-end-excise-tax. So that does come up with an easy Google search as well, just City of Santa Fe excise tax. The city will also be issuing a press release with this information and will send out direct communications to the impacted communities as well, which Finance Director developed a list of contacts during her public engagement during the spring of 2024 we will be using. But any questions should start with the city's actual code, the ordinance, which is where the primary information is located, and then the rule just describes how we are implementing it in terms of forms and locations and how to pay, all of that. That's the big news from the City of Santa Fe's Attorney Office this week, but we also are recommending an executive session on a number of issues. If the governing body would like to do that at this time. Let me get back to my agenda.
It's we're
it's
pretty
early.
early in our
Yeah,
program. I
Early,
think we're okay to go straight to.
happy to
executive session.
postpone the recommendation.
Don't you think? Okay, I think we're good to roll.
Oh,
Yes, please.
okay, great. So I'm recommending that we go into executive session subject to the Open Meetings Act, then section 10-15-1, subpart H7, or attorney-client privilege discussion of pending and threatened litigation through a quarterly litigation update, including but not limited to discussion of Pueblo of Sandia versus Rio Rancho and Mike Hammond, New Mexico State Engineer, King County versus Turner in the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, and Damian V. Hill versus City of Santa Fe and Canine Services. And also pursuant to subpart H8, discussion of the purchase, acquisition, or disposal of real property or water rights, in particular disposition of a property leased to La Familia Medical Center at 1031 or 35 Alto Street, and disposition of parcels of the Midtown property located at 1600 St. Michael's Drive.
Councilor Mayorworth, do you have a motion for us?
I move that we enter into executive session pursuant to the Open Meetings Act,
Whoop.
Open Meetings Act, section 10-15-1, subpart H7. And where's the other one? Subpart H8. Did I get them all?
Second.
There's a motion and a second to go into executive session to take up these matters for discussion. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll?
Certainly, Mayor. Counselor Lee Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Michael Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Romero Worth,
Yes.
Counselor Cassett,
Yes.
Counselor Castro, Counselor Chavez,
Yes.
Mayor Weber.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. We will be in executive session. We'll take care of this material as expeditiously as possible and then return to our regular order. Thanks, everybody. Are we still streaming, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Mayor, we're still streaming.
Very good, thank you. Counselor Mayor-Worth, do you have a motion for us?
I do, Mayor. You'd think I'd got this by now. Pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, Section 10-15-1J, I move that the governing body reconvene in open session and state for the record that the matters discussed in the closed session were limited to those specified in the motion for closure.
There a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, can you call the roll?
Certainly, Mayor. Counselor Michael Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Lindell, Counselor Romero Worth,
Yes.
Counselor Cassett,
That's me. Yes.
Counselor Chavez,
Yes.
Counselor Lee Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Weber,
Yes.
motion passed.
Thank you. I think we have some executive session action items next, and then we'll entertain a motion to go directly to the petitions from the floor since we're running late on that. But there are items 13A through F, Madam Clerk, if you could take us through that.
Certainly, Mayor. 13A is approval of City of Santa Fe joining Santa Fe County as an amicus in Pueblo of Sandia versus City of Rio Rancho, and Mike Hammond, New Mexico State Engineer, Court Appeal number A1 CA 42980.
Move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there discussion? Madam Clerk, can you call the roll?
Counselor Lee Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Michael Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Lindell,
Yes.
Counselor Romero Worth,
Yes.
Counselor Cassett,
Yes.
Counselor Castro,
Yes.
Counselor Chavez,
Yes.
Mayor Weber,
Yes.
motion passed.
Thank you. And 13B, Madam Clerk?
13B is approval of attorney-client privilege recommended next steps in Damian V. Hill versus City of Santa Fe and K-9 Services, D101CV 2023-00106.
Move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there discussion? Please call the roll.
Counselor Lindell, Counselor Romero Worth,
Yes.
Counselor Cassett,
Yes.
Counselor Castro, Counselor Chavez,
Yes.
Counselor Lee Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Michael Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Weber,
Yes.
motion passed.
Thank you. And that would take us to the next item.
Approval of contract for pro bono legal representation by the Public Rights Project in City and County of San Francisco et al. Versus Trump 325 CV 01350.
Move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve this. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Counselor Romero Worth,
Yes.
Counselor Cassett,
Yes.
Counselor Castro,
Yes.
Counselor Chavez,
Yes.
Counselor Lee Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Michael Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Lindell, Mayor Weber,
Yes,
motion approved.
thank you.
Mayor Weber,
Yes, Counselor.
I'd like to
Need
recuse
to step
myself
out?
from D, E, and F.
Okay, Counselor Michael Garcia will be stepping out for the remaining 3 items on this executive session, action items to recuse himself. So please note that as you call the roll.
Approval of contract for pro bono legal representation by the Public Rights Project in San Francisco Unified School District and the City of Santa Fe versus AmeriCorps, 325 CV 02425.
Move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Counselor Cassett, Counselor Castro,
Yes.
Counselor Chavez,
Yes.
Counselor Lee Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Lindell, Counselor Romero Worth,
Yes.
Mayor Weber,
Yes,
motion passed.
thank you, Madam Clerk. On to the next one then.
Approval to join other municipalities and counties in King County versus Turner and the U.S. Department of Housing et al. 225 CV 00814, challenging illegal grant requirements in federal grants from the Housing and Urban Development Department and other federal departments.
Move to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there discussion? Call the roll, Madam Clerk, please.
Counselor Castro,
Yes.
Counselor Chavez,
Yes.
Counselor Lee Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Lindell, Counselor Romero Worth,
Yes.
Counselor Cassett, Mayor Weber,
Yes,
motion passed.
thank you, Madam Clerk. And then I believe the last one on our list.
Approval of contract for pro bono legal representation by the Public Rights Project in King County versus Turner and the U.S. Department of Housing et al. 225 CV 00814.
Move to approve. Yep.
There's a motion and a second to approve this. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Counselor Chavez,
Yes.
Counselor Lee Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Lindell, Counselor Romero Worth,
Yes.
Counselor Cassett,
Yes.
Counselor Castro,
Yes.
Mayor Weber,
Yes.
motion passed.
Thank you. And now I would entertain a motion to change our agenda to move to petitions from the floor at this time.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to change the agenda to go now to petitions from the floor. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Counselor Lee Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Michael Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Lindell, Counselor Romero Worth,
Yes.
Counselor Cassett,
Yes.
Counselor Castro,
Yes.
Counselor Chavez,
Yes.
Mayor Weber,
Yes.
motion passed.
Thank you. So we will now go to petitions from the floor. Anyone who wishes to come before the governing body for 2 minutes to present their thoughts on any matters that are before us. We don't have any public hearings that I'm aware of. There is a public comment on a bill, so if that's the one you want to speak to, please wait for that to come to the agenda. But if it's on any other matter, the city clerk will keep the time. And in the interest of fairness to everybody, please respect the 2-minute period of time that everybody is allocated. And yes, you're going to have to hit the button and make a green light appear. There you go. So, Madam Clerk, are you ready to run the clock?
Mayor, just a point of order. You said there were no public
I don't see a
hearings?
hearing on.
Okay, but public comment.
There is a
later.
public comment on a bill, which if that's what you want to speak to, wait for the public comment. But anything else, please address anything else now. It's only one.
And just to clarify, maybe we should clarify because I think we have somebody in the line to speak to the ordinance.
All right, so
So,
if you want to, there's an ordinance that involves animals on medians. If that's what you want to talk about, wait for that to come in front of the governing body as an agenda item. Anything else unrelated to that ordinance, this is the time to speak to it. Anything else, but that's separate. So with that said, if you would like to take the floor, you have the floor to speak. Thank you. I don't think the mic is on them.
I think I pushed it accidentally off. Is it on now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Mayor Alan Weber and the city's Santa Fe City Council, this is a petition for remedy and notice of liability. Good evening, members of the city council. I'm here on behalf of the concerned Hispanic residents and allies of Santa Fe to present a petition of equitable governance and respectful representation, and to the issue this notice of liability for the ongoing cultural harm and marginalization our community has endured and continues to endure under this administration. Since stepping into office in 2018, Mayor Weber and his administration have gone the distance to disrespect our community and erase our history, monuments, and traditions, from bannings of Santa Fe rituals, fiesta rituals, the removal of Don Diego de Vargas statue, the destruction of the Soldiers Monument, which despite a federal court order has yet to be restored or reinstalled. These instances of historic erasure have divided and harmed all Santa Fe communities by creating an exclusionary environment where Hispanic community members do not feel safe, seen, respected, or valued. We demand immediate expedited remedy, including a public apology from the mayor and the council, the restoration of the Soldiers Monument, the Kit Carson obelisk, Don Diego de Vargas statue to their rightful original places, and the full reinstatement of Santa Fe Fiesta traditions as they existed before 2018, all with clear action steps and timelines to be delivered to our coalition within 21 days. We are here to make this very clear. Our community will no longer be dismissed, erased, disrespected, or ignored. Accountability and restitution begins now. I've got a letter here also signed from Union Protectiva, and I've got petition of numbers of names, and there's also 3,206 people signing a petition online. This has to get straightened out.
We need your name, sir, for the record.
Eric Fuentes. I've been here before.
Thank you. No, please don't applaud or boo or anything else. It's okay to show your support, but we don't do outbursts from the audience. Could you please take the floor? It's your turn. No?
Okay,
There you go.
Mayor, City Council, I'm David Thompson. I live in District 2. I was co-chair of the Living Wage Network when we passed the living wage over 20 years ago, so this issue is close to my heart. Currently, I'm a vice chair of the County Democratic Party, and the party is supporting this initiative. That's because our workers, the people who serve our food, build our houses, care for our children, and clean the rooms for the tourists that we welcome to our city, those workers deserve to be able to live in our city. You've heard testimony about the effects of carve-outs. The original living wage ordinance included an exemption for small businesses, and it did not work well. An exemption causes problems for both workers and businesses, and it enabled quite a bit of evasion. That's why the city, with the agreement of business groups, eliminated that exemption in 2007. Finally, I also want to let the council know that I did some analysis on the results of the city survey. In particular, I looked at the results in the 87507 zip code, since it largely, though not completely, overlaps with the South Side. I'm told that staff should be sending that out to the governing body tomorrow. The bottom line on that study is that while this proposal is overwhelmingly popular overall, it's even more overwhelmingly popular on the South Side, where most low-wage workers live. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Let's reset the clock, and you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and councilors, my name is Scott Bunton. I live at 451 Avenida Primera South in Santa Fe. I'm a member of the Food Depot's Board of Directors and its Executive Committee. I previously presented to this body the reasons why we believe increasing the minimum wage is a badly needed step that will broadly serve the interests of our community. Rather than repeating my earlier remarks, tonight I want to thank the members of the governing body, the city staff, and fellow citizens who have engaged in this matter for their careful and thorough attention that's been given to this since the mayor introduced the proposal in August. The governing body accepted comments from the public in September. The Public Works Committee accepted comments in September as well. Councilors organized a town hall meeting where they heard from so many attendees that they had to cut off comments. The city staff offered an open survey to all city residents, and the response was gratifying and overwhelming. More than 1,400 responses from every type of citizen, business owners, workers, retirees, a cross-section of the city. You've ensured that every citizen who wants to have an opportunity to make comment on this proposal has had that opportunity, and I commend you for that. The council's 3 committees spent many hours discussing the proposal, hearing from expert witnesses and city staff, and considering and taking action on the proposal and amendments to it. From all this, it's crystal clear that a very substantial majority of this city's population supports increasing the minimum wage because it is currently insufficient. When the governing body acts on the proposal on November 12, we urge you to take the obvious next step, which is to approve it. It's not a panacea, but it's an essential step in the right direction. And I join David in urging you not to accept carve-outs or exemptions beyond those which already exist. Thank you. We appreciate what the council has done on this.
Thank you. Thanks for coming down. And let's reset the clock, and you have the floor. Make sure you're right in front of the microphone.
My name is Julia Wyrick. I live in the Pueblo de San Juan Townhouse Complex off of Rodeo Road in District 4. I'm a member of and frequent volunteer with the Democratic Party of Santa Fe County. I'm here to speak in support of the Santa Fe living wage proposal to increase the minimum hourly wage from $15 to $17.50 and to update the formula, excuse me, for future increase calculations. I support and encourage the city council pass this proposal. It will improve the lives of working people. It will help them navigate the high cost of living that is part of the environment of Santa Fe, and that will ultimately benefit the city and community as a whole.
Thank you very much. Yes, sir. You have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
You're taller than she was, so you might want to pull it up a little bit.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. My name is Rick Sidibaka, and I'm a owner of Big Joe True Value Hardware here in Santa Fe. First of all, if you own or operate a small business in this community, you know how hard it is to hire good employees and keep them. I'd like to address the minimum wage increase proposal. And I'm here to speak on behalf of the youth of Santa Fe. We have Big Joe employ 22 to 26 people during the year. Last time there's a substantial minimum wage increase, the economy was not stable and inflation as it is now. Subsequently, our staff was reduced to 18 employees to offset existing salaries and to keep retail prices down. We were unable to hire high school and students, graduating students in those 2 years to fill summer positions because we were trying to keep prices down and keep our current employees.
Thank you. Thanks for coming down tonight. Yes, you have the floor. Maybe, I think you got to get right in front of the microphone.
Hi, I'm Mary Ann Stickler, and I'm here to speak about short-term rentals. I want to start off with thanking Councilors Romero, Worth, and Cassett for meeting with me in June of 2024. And since that time, working with the Land Use Department to get a third-party data provider service under contract for the enforcement of short-term rentals. I'm excited to have that piece on board. But I'm also reminded that this is exactly where we were 5 years ago. 5 years ago, exactly, the city of Santa Fe contracted with a third-party data provider in order to enforce the short-term rental ordinance. And they did their job. They provided data, but the staff didn't have the protocols or the training to use the data to actually enforce the ordinance. So we didn't have illegal short-term rentals shut down. We didn't have taxes audited. We didn't have citations issued for violations of the ordinance. So we're right where we were 5 years ago. So I'm just here to encourage us to take those next steps with the Land Use Department to make sure that the staff has training and has protocols and procedures that are supported by the administration of the land use staff and the city attorney's office to actually enforce the ordinance. One piece that I've talked with a lot of you about is that the ordinance starts with a statement of intent and purpose. And the very first intent and purpose of the ordinance is to ensure that the operation of short-term rentals in residential areas do not disrupt the character of the city's neighborhoods or the quality of life for neighboring residents. And I think that the training of our enforcement staff has to start with understanding that that is the intent and purpose of the ordinance, is to protect the residents and the neighborhoods, not to promote commercialization of our neighborhoods. And I know the last time I spoke with Mayor Weber, he reminded me that during the deliberations in 2020 in designing the ordinance, one thing that the council was trying to have guardrails against was turning our neighborhoods into Swiss cheese. Well, our neighborhoods are Swiss cheese. So I'm hoping that with this new data provider and with new protocols and training for our enforcement staff, we will actually put the interests of the residents and the neighborhoods above the interests of the investors.
Thank you. Thanks for being here tonight. Madam Clerk, can you make sure we reset the clock properly? And then we are ready to go. Yes, sir, you have the floor.
Mayor Weber, members of the City Council, my name is Daniel Ortiz. I've been here before. I've met, as I think most of you personally. First of all, I want to just say thank you for your service to our community. We may all disagree. We're never going to all disagree in a democracy on every single thing, but I want to truly thank you for your service. I know despite all the big perks and prestige you have, that the position you hold is not easy. So thank you for your service. Having said that, we're back once again to the Soldiers Monument. Specifically, I come to you tonight regarding request for quotes number 25095 that the City of Santa Fe put out to fund yet another study on what to do with the Soldiers Monument. With all due respect, what the hell do you think you're doing? The City of Santa Fe has spoken through the chart process and through every other study. Majority of the citizens want the Soldiers Monument restored. It's not an overwhelming majority, but it is a majority. This is the only monument in America dedicated to Union soldiers, Hispanic soldiers fighting against the Confederacy that was taken down. And yet you drag your feet. $65,000 for chart? You got a response, you got a study, you got a result. You didn't like it, did you, Mayor? Majority said in that chart process, rebuild it, maybe change the language of the plaque, or rebuild it. That wasn't good enough. Now we have another study. What was it, $50,000? I submitted an IPRA request to find out who actually submitted requests, engineering firms to fulfill that quote. You know what? The City of Santa Fe regrettably turned my IPRA request down. So there's a lawsuit going on, which you may or may not know about. So why do you need more studies? Why do you need to study the obvious?
Thank you, sir, for your time.
Rebuild the monument. This is your legacy, sir.
Thank you for coming down tonight.
Good evening. You can hear me. My name is Elizabeth West, and I have about 10 things to say, so we'll see what I can get through. Some of them are compliments. So I like the fact that the previous speaker started with compliment, so I'm going to coast on that, and thank you for doing that. I disagree with some of the things that are stated by friends of mine. And I want to start off with something that isn't a compliment. And I regret that I am saying this, but I have seen a video that's going around. It's on YouTube, and I think its subtitle is Cautionary Tale, and it has to do with you, Mayor Weber, and other people. And I'm not going to go into it. I don't like it. I think it's elegant and snazzy and probably well done, but the intent disturbs me That's for the record. I also want to address something I heard in a couple things I heard in the Finance Committee meeting, which I attended recently. I was very impressed with, there were just a few people there. Counselor Lindell, you left a little bit early and Counselor Faulkner left a little bit early, but you all carried on, and I thought it was a pretty interesting conversation. Particularly, I want to call out or compliment Romero Worth, Counselor Romero Worth, for her comments about Chapter 14 because it relates to her area, and I appreciate that. I thanked you that night, and I'm thanking you in public. And then last here is a comment I want to make about Counselor Lee Garcia's request for an amendment. Do I have time? I thought it was excellent, and I'm sorry that it didn't get passed because it would make the raising of the minimum wage much more palatable to me. Of course, I want to be paid more money. Everybody does, and some people desperately need it, but it will do a crazy balance about. I mean, I've heard there are some people who are already raising their prices because they hear it's coming. So it's a balance that we need to do. I want to say his amendment had to do with 3 months of a discretionary time.
Yes, ma'am.
Of
Thank you.
Apprenticeship.
Thank you.
Such a good idea. Counselor Lee Garcia, I really thought that was excellent. I'm disappointed you didn't consider it through finance. I hope the city governing body will consider it.
Thank you. Thanks for coming down tonight. Are there folks on the Zoom room who would like to be part of petitions from the floor, Madam Clerk?
Mayor, there are no attendees in the Zoom room.
Okay, and I wasn't cutting anybody off who wants to speak when it's time for the first public comment on the bill regarding animals on medians. That will come up in a short period of time. Madam Clerk, if we're going back to regular order, could you take us, I believe the next item involves you.
Yes, Mayor, next item is matters from the city clerk. Just wanted to share with the community the Halloween events that will be happening. Teen Center Halloween Party, Thursday, October 30th, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Santa Fe Teen Center. Santa Fe Police Department Trick or Treat, Friday, October 31st, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Santa Fe Police Department headquarters. And then the City of Santa Fe Halloween Party, Friday, October 31st, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Genoveva Chavez Community Center. Also want to remind you all of the Veterans Day events. There is the Veterans Day ceremony on Tuesday, November 11th at 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Santa Fe Community Convention Center. And then a performance by Navy Band Southeast on Saturday, November 15th from 1 to 2 p.m. on the plaza. And also City Clerk Salazar wanted me to mention there are 3 new hires in our department: Megan Daly, Senior Graphic Designer; Megan Thomas, Public Defender; and Emily Aragon. She's the Constituent Service Specialist in the City Clerk's office. That's all I have for you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. It's nice to have you back behind the wheel there.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Next item is going to be matters from the governing body.
And I will take it in sequence. Councilor Castro, why don't you kick us off?
Sure. I'm very excited, all the events. I'll add one more as always, and we'll be talking a little bit more about this. Sig and I are big animal lovers, so I'll be donating some music on Saturday. We'll be playing from 12 to 3 at the Dia de los Muertos event at the animal shelter. So if you want to come out and check that out before you come to the plaza to see all of the wonderful events that are happening there.
Thank you. Councilor?
I have nothing tonight. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilor Garcia?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just one quick request for the city clerk or acting city clerk, if you can pass it on to the city clerk Salazar. Last year we passed resolution 2024-18, which was a ceasefire resolution. And part of it was to send a letter to our federal delegation. If I can request to have a copy of that letter, that would be amazing.
Certainly.
And then just want to wish everybody a safe Halloween. Don't eat too much candy.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Lindell?
Thank you, Mayor. My dentist said to eat all the candy and let's not forget, we do have, event, Dia Los Muertos Friday night and all day Saturday, right? It's a city-sponsored event. It's very meaningful to many, many people. And, it's a little way to, celebrate and be somber at the same time. Kind of a good, way to balance things off. And I hope to see a bunch of you down there. I'll certainly be there. Thank you, Mayor.
Counselor. Counselor Mayor Worth?
I don't have anything tonight. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Counselor Cassett?
Nothing tonight, just I hope everybody has a really wonderful holiday weekend and is safe and enjoys all the festivities in the city.
Thank you. And Counselor Lee Garcia, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing I have is, I know I've mentioned this before, and because I chair the Blue Bus Board, we did hire an executive director a couple months back. And want to, his first day on the job will be Friday, the 31st. And our outgoing executive director, who is, the new executive director is Nicholas Sofel. Very well educated, very well. He's a great candidate. I think he's going to do well, and I think he'll work well with the city and being a good partner. And want to wish well to our outgoing executive director, Tony Mortellaro, who really took that that transit agency and gave it did an amazing job with it, not only for what he has done, but for the future of the district. And it's long range planning and goals of the complete board. So just wanted to mention that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Counselor. I'll be very brief. I want to first just publicly tip my hat to the city attorney's office for the amazing job they did arguing our case on the excise tax and our affordable housing measure that the public overwhelmingly supported. And now, as we heard this evening, will be put into effect. It's going to have a huge impact in terms of resources to address affordable housing in Santa Fe. I think the early estimates were perhaps $7-8 million coming in every year. And then, of course, when they go out, they get matched 3x. So I think we're really seeing a significant step change. It took a great deal of hard work, careful legal analysis, good preparation, and the result that came our way is just very gratifying. And so thank you, Madam City Attorney. Pass on my thanks, of course, to everybody on your team. And I'd offer the same accolades to our police department. As we heard yesterday, they are on track to a fully staffed Santa Fe Police Department with, by the end of this calendar year, 0 vacancies. That's a truly great achievement. And I think, as we heard from our police leadership, so much of it has to do with word of mouth of people who work there now, bringing in other officers, promoting their police colleagues as a great place to work, a great culture with resources, support. It's more than money, it's mission. And my great appreciation goes to the men and women who are in the recruiting area, but also the leadership of the department that has really taken it to a new level of recognition and the ability to fill those tough to fill slots. So 2 great achievements back to back by city attorney and our police department. I shouldn't go without mention. Back to you, Madam Clerk.
All right, we'll move on to introduction of legislation. 16A is consideration of a resolution. This is sponsored by Counselor Amanda Chavez. It's a resolution authorizing City of Santa Fe representatives and agents to sign agreements and requests for payment regarding New Mexico Department of Transportation appropriation ID number I-3319, control number C5243319 to acquire rights of way for and to plan, design, construct, and improve the intersection of Rufina Street and Lopez Lane.
A comment on your bill?
I think the caption speaks for itself, and Counselor Cassett is on the next, is a co-sponsor on this and the next one. I don't know if that was mentioned.
It was not noted on the,
Sorry.
on the document. We'll fix that. Thank you. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Next item is consideration of a resolution sponsored by Counselor Amanda Chavez and Counselor Cassett. It's a resolution authorizing City of Santa Fe representatives and agents to sign agreements and requests for payment regarding New Mexico Department of Transportation appropriation ID number J3296, control number C5253296 to acquire rights of way for and to plan, design, construct improvements on Rufina Street and Lopez Lane intersection and accepting responsibility for the project.
Again, I think the caption speaks for itself.
Very good. Thank you.
Next item is consideration of bill number 2025-25 and adoption of an ordinance. This is sponsored by Counselor Amanda Chavez, Counselor Carol Romero Worth, and Counselor Jamie Cassett. It's a bill updating the rates and service charges for water utility services.
And for this one, I have a long introduction.
This one you have some preparation, so why don't you?
All right, so since water rates were last increased in 2013, we have seen general cost inflation of 41%, meaning our ability to fund operations and projects with unchanged rates is significantly reduced. In addition, we have 4 critically important capital projects in the planning or construction phases that must be completed to ensure a continued ability to provide a safe, reliable, and resilient supply of water to meet the needs of Santa Fe. These include major dam rehabilitation projects at both Nichols Dam and McClure Dam on the upper Santa Fe River, an upgrade to old and obsolete treatment plant processes at the Canyon Road Water Treatment Plant, and the San Juan Trauma Return Flow Project, which is a key project to ensure future water resiliency. A more in-depth explanation of the need for rate increases was provided at our April 30th governing body meeting. This legislation would implement water utility rate increases equivalent to approximately $2 per month to the average bill starting in February of next year, and then again each of the next 4 years in January. In 2019 and 2020, a task force including staff, elected officials, members of the public, and our financials consultant were convened to recommend changes to the water rate structure. The outcome of that effort included a recommendation to add a 3rd tier to residential rates to reward low water users, but to delay implementation of that new structure until a rate increase was needed. Following those recommendations, this legislation would, along with the rate increase, add a 3rd usage tier to the residential rate structure. The amount charged for the new tiers is selected to reward low water use and send a strong financial signal to high water users. Customers who use less than 6,000 gallons per month would see their average summer and winter bills both go down under the new structure. Due to active changes to the city utility billing software, the rate increases would start in 2026, but the rate structure change would not be implemented until 2027. Because of the new structure, the average water bill would rise by about $2 per month in 2026, then decrease by $3 per month in 2027 due to the rate structure change, before increasing again by about $2 per month each of the next 3 years. As a result, the net effect on the average bill would be a total increase of about $5 per month spread out over 5 years. Thank you.
That's great. I think it's important to get that out there, and I know Jesse Roach wants to have more time to brief everybody on this. So thanks for prepping it. From the co-sponsors?
I just thank Counselor Chavez for that introduction, and I want to thank staff for this bill. this is the kind of work that needs to be done to make sure that we are keeping up with our infrastructure needs and making sure that our revenues are adequate to provide for the upgrades and ongoing maintenance, deferred and otherwise, in order to keep our systems really at the top level. And this is one of those changes. So really appreciate the work on this. Thank you.
Thank you. And Counselor Cassidy?
I think my co-sponsors have covered it all.
Thank you, ma'am. Next item on the agenda, Madam Clerk.
Next item is item 18, public comment on bills. This is the first public comment, no action. 18A is consideration of bill number 2025-22 and adoption of an ordinance sponsored by Counselor Jamie Cassett, Counselor Sigley Lindell, Counselor Alma Castro, and Counselor Pilar Faulkner. It's a bill amending SFCC 1987, Section 5-2 to define abandonment and unattended animal, Section 5-5.4 to prohibit keeping an animal on any median, and Section 5-8.4 to specify that abandoning an animal will incur a fine, creating a new Section 5-8.14 unattended animal, prohibiting unattended animals and imposing a fine, and amending Table 15-12.1 to increase the fine for abandoning an animal from $200 to $500, impose a $200 fine for a first unattended animal offense, and a $500 fine for subsequent offenses, and impose a $200 fine for keeping animals on medians.
Very good. Thank you. At this time, this is an opportunity for first public comment. There will be no action by the governing body, but simply an opportunity for folks to give their comment on this proposed legislation. If you'd like to speak to it, please come to the microphone, and as before, the clerk will keep a clock of 2-minute opportunity for anyone who wishes to speak on this bill. Please, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Judith Gabriel, and I live in District 2. I'm also a volunteer and board member of the Street Homeless Animal Project. I'm opposed to the proposed amendments to SFCC 1987. While counselors may be proposing these changes because they care about the welfare of animals, these amendments won't result in better conditions for animals and their human companions that are on the streets of Santa Fe asking for help. All it will do is cause more challenges and suffering to people already dealing with a great deal of hardship. People on the street will be caught between a rock and a hard place. They won't be allowed on the medians, and they won't be allowed to leave their animals elsewhere, since they'll be at risk of being charged with either a violation of the median ordinance or abandonment. Finding people who have little to nothing is a senseless and cruel policy. And what will happen to their animals? Will they be taken to the overcrowded shelter and separated from their best friend? Life on the streets is hard enough. Let's stop criminalizing homelessness in Santa Fe and make some real changes that will actually help people and their beloved animals. Establish policies and practices that ensure that the unhoused have access to shelter, heat, food, and other necessities they need to survive life on the streets. We need compassion and services, not harsh laws that will separate families and cause more harm than good. Please vote no on these proposed amendments. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming down. Wait 1 second. We'll reset the clock, and you have the floor.
My name is Evelyn O'Keefe. This is the first time I've been to a council meeting. My husband is here with me also. We live in District 4, and we strongly oppose the amendment. I believe it is cruel and inhumane. Thank you.
Thank you for coming down. And reset the clock, and go ahead. You have the floor.
My name is Karen Kane. I'm the executive director and founder of SHAP, Street Homeless Animal Project. My life has been and continues to be about animal activism. SHAP was founded in 1998 and exists to support the companion animals of our homeless brothers and sisters. The median ordinance proposal is a threat to our homeless and to Santa Fe. This proposal is not just an act of addressing animal protection. The proposed ordinance will disrupt, displace, and perpetuate the cycle of poverty with a profound negative impact. Statistically, homeless people spend the most time with their companion animals and form the strongest bond with them compared to housed companion animal population. Companion animals are trained, we worry about, and I get it off the cuff. But I have to say that in 26 years of my running Street Homeless Animal Project, we have never had a dog walk off the median or a dog struck on the median. And that is super important to notate. Companion animals provide love, support, help manage isolation, and improve mental health. But the reality of it is, it's not just what the person feels about or thinks or loves their dog. That's mutual, the mutuality. That dog, that person is that family member to that dog and vice versa. That dog is that person's family. It's not just a one-way street. We work with every veterinary hospital in Santa Fe. Our main hospital clinic is Smith Vet Hospital. We did our research on this to substantiate the fact that I brought up earlier about the median situation or a dog walking off or struck on a median. I have served in this capacity in this community throughout the years, and without SHAP, again, no reported incident or injury. Fining the homeless $200 along with jail time, court appearances is futile, cruel, and recklessly punitive, and is a mismanagement of tax dollars. And I would just like to say, catch and release doesn't work. Police come up, they run a person for a warrant, the guy ends up at county jail, the dog at the pound, over and over. Catch and release doesn't work.
Thank you,
We
ma'am.
need to think of something different.
Thank you.
Lastly, homeless people face on a daily basis a complex group-based discrimination and unconscious bias. We need to change our perception and thinking. Lastly, don't take away their last meager source of subsistence on the medians. Regardless of the outcome, my colleagues and I will remain dedicated and steadfast in supporting our brothers and sisters and their companion animals out on the street. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for coming down.
My name's Elizabeth West, and I wasn't going to speak to this, but I wish there were some kind of compromise because this is a very serious and touching thing. Now, I drive around a lot in my new Bolt car currently, but before that, for 25 years, I drove around in my Subaru. And I have to say, I have never once seen a dog leave. And one time there were a bunch of cats, actually. They did not leave where they were. However, I am sometimes very nervous for the human being and the canine, or in one case, a cat being, and when it's a very narrow area. And so I wish a compromise could somehow be found where there could be a place where people could beg for help, ask for money, and be with their animals. And we would all know we could drive by there when we had an extra $5 or something and give it to them, share with them. I am uncomfortable about doing that in a traffic area. So that part of the bill I like. But the unfairness and the cruelty to both the human being and the animal who likes that human being and vice versa is really heart-wrenching for me. Could you come up with another idea? Could we be maybe the first in the world to come up with that? I would love it. And I'll commit $5 a month to somebody if there's a safe place for them to be. Thank you.
Thank you for coming down. Is there anyone on the Zoom room who is a hand up to speak on this item?
Mayor, there are no attendees in the Zoom room.
Okay, in that case, Madam Clerk, let's consider that as the public comment on this bill and move to the next item on the agenda.
Next item is 21 appointments. 21A is appointments to the Sister Cities Committee. Jeff Case, reappointment with the term ending October 2027. Ron Press with appointment to member, term ending October 2027. And Carrie Cottle, reappointment, term ending October 2027.
Move to approve.
Is there a second? There's a motion and a second to approve these appointments. Is there any discussion? Would you call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Certainly, Mayor. Counselor Michael Garcia,
Yes.
Counselor Lindell, Counselor Romero Worth,
Yes.
Counselor Cassett,
Yes.
Counselor Castro,
Yes.
Counselor Chavez,
Yes.
Counselor Lee Garcia,
Yes.
Mayor Weber.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. I believe that completes tonight's agenda. Everyone, thank you for coming. We're adjourned.